Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this time to apologize for the way I currently look. My son has been really sick and been in the hospital for the last 3 days, so I kind of look a hot mess myself. But I haven't really had time to prepare for this speech, and so I would like to take this time to really apologize because I know this isn't going to be my best work, but I've done what I could do with the time that I've had. Today, I want to talk to you about the foster care system and why it is important for people to foster children. According to the most recent federal study, there are currently more than 400,000 children that are in the foster care system. They range from the age of infants to 21 years old in some states. The average child in the foster care system is more than 8 years old, and there are slightly more boys than there are girls. And that's according to About the Children, AdoptUSKids.com. And according to ABC News, there are approximately 800,000 children every year that come in contact with the foster care system. Although in coincidences of children with child abuse and neglect have been decreasing, at least 653,000 children, or almost 1 in every 100 children in the United States, were abused in 2015. The most recent year for that, we have statistic. It takes a while to gather statistics, which is why the data for 2015 was released by the Children's Bureau in January of 2017. Neglect is the most common form of child abuse and affects about 75% of the child abuse victims. Neglect is defined as a parent or guardian who fails to provide for their child's basic needs. Forms of neglects include medical, educational, physical, and emotional neglect. Another 25% of children were victims of abuse, according to physical abuse, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse. Nearly 5% of children die every day as a result of child abuse or neglect. No group of children is immune from being a victim of child abuse or neglect. Although girls are more victims of sexual abuse than boys, for all other types of abuse and neglect, statistics are about equal. Although children of all ages experience abuse and neglect, it is the youngest children that are the most vulnerable. Almost 27% of the victims of the child abuse and neglect are under the age of 3 years old. Children of all races and ethnicities can be victims of child abuse. In 2015, nearly half the victims of child abuse and neglect were Caucasian, 1/5 were African American, and 1/5 were Hispanic. Children in low socioeconomic families have more than 3 times the rate of child abuse and 7 times the rate of neglect than other children. Children whose parents are unemployed have about 2 times the rate of child abuse and 2 to 3 times the rate of neglect than children with employed parents. Living with the married or biological parents places children at a lower risk for children of child abuse and neglect, while living with a single parent with a live-in partner increases the risk of abuse and neglect to more than 8 times that of other children. In 2015, more than half, which is 57% of all child abuse cases, are reported to CPS agencies. Come from professionals who are come in contact with children, including teachers, lawyers, police officers, and social workers. Many people in these professions are required by law to report suspected abuse or neglect. However, many reports from non professional sources, such as parents or other relatives, friends, and neighbors, anonymous reports, accounted for 9% of all reported. It is important to know the signs of child abuse and how to report it. We We all share the responsibility to keep our children safe as we take steps to prevent child abuse from occurring in the first place. I work for Cofield CAP, which is the Head Start program here in Mingo County. And as a bus driver, I can say I have seen several cases of child abuse and neglect, and children being taken from their primary parent and placed into foster care. This has a very negative effect on these children because they feel unloved, they feel unwanted, they feel just neglected. And I understand how kids that are so young just don't understand what's going on and don't understand why mommy and daddy are being so mean to them, or if brothers, sisters, parents, everybody's just up and leaving. It's not their fault. They don't understand, and it is hard for parents, single parents really, to be able to trust people to watch their children. But a lot of abuse comes from parents, and it's sad to say that there are more children in this world that needs to be taken care of. People need to foster, they need to help these babies, and they need to make sure that the children that they do come in contact with know that they are loved and know that they will be taken care of. So I hope each and every one of you that are watching this and that are able to will consider going out and applying to be a foster parent to make a difference in another child's life. I thank you all, and I hope you all have a great evening. Bye.